You're such a lucky guy.
Such a lucky guy, such a lucky guy.
Yes, you are. To have a girl
Like her,
is truly a dream come true.
oh yeah.
Out of all the fellas in the world, she belongs to you.
Oh yeah.
It was
Just my imagination
once again running away with me. It was just my imagination running away with me. Ooh. Soon we'll be married and raise a family.
Oh yes.
In a cozy little home out in the country with 2 children, maybe 3.
Oh yes.
I tell you, I can visualize it all,
Visualize it.
but this couldn't be a dream or to really all see.
Oh yes.
In a world,
Just my imagination
once again running away with me. It was just my imagination running away with me.
Every night on my knees I pray, dear Lord, hear my plea. Don't ever let another take a love from me, 'cause I will surely die.
Your love is heavenly. When your arms enfold me, I hear your gentle rhapsody. But in reality, she doesn't even know me.
Just my imagination,
Ooh, it's running away with me. It was just my imagination running away with me. Where'd you think you're going, baby?
just my imagination.
It's running away with me. It was just my imagination running away with me. I wanna love you, baby, baby, baby.
Just my imagination.
Running away with me. It was just my imagination running away with me.
And that was just my imagination. But the guy's brilliant.
Yeah,
It was
it was a great song. That's sung by my nephew Steve Jackson. Yeah, it's a lovely song. That's the sort of Motown stuff that we're doing on it.
Now, I've got to say, listening to that, right, some people who were listening to that would maybe think that that was the original track.
Well, that's
or
nice,
as close
nice,
to,
it's a nice compliment. Yeah.
as close to the original as you would probably get, because the lovely backing. And I think that's obviously part of the attraction of what you guys do.
That is certainly without, because one thing that I really specific and management specify that has to be as authentic as possible. And the only way you can do that is to listen to the songs, listen to the harmonies of the original singers, and sing it that way.
Yep.
It's very difficult to change songs because it then becomes something different, doesn't it? You know, feel like,
Well, it becomes different, and then people lose interest.
And you've got my age group anyway, who like to when we do the shows, go back and say, "Hey, I remember when we were cutting, and remember that one, sweetheart?" And she's going, "Yeah, because they actually recognise the song and they can relate to that song.
Well, it's a trip down memory lane, isn't it?
Certainly
Really?
is, yeah.
Now, one of the things we were talking about off air, we were talking about developing an act and taking you back again in time. You had been in Max's Taxi, and then in 1980 that changed to another band I think a lot of our listeners will remember.
Yeah, well, that time I split from Max Taxi. I joined with Dino. And I brought my young brother Derek in. Most people would know him as Louis G. Jackson.
Yeah.
Derek was only 18 at the time. And he joined us. And we were Green Ginger at that particular time. And then we changed the name after about a year because at that time we were doing competitions.
Yeah.
And we thought, listen, do we do competitions our lives or do we try and go professional? And we decided we'll go professional. So we changed the name to, as people would probably a lot of people know, Django.
Yep.
And it was quite a successful group throughout Scotland, England, even in the sort of northeast. It was great.
I think for people in my age group and growing up, if you went round the club scene, round your Gilmerton Miners, your Lonehead Miners, your Dalkeith Miners, East Houses, and all the various places round about here, that was where we would have seen you guys. And I remember seeing you guys doing your stuff back then.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And that I suppose as well, helped. I'm not going to say my generation because we're not that far apart, but that helped sort of bring the music on, bring it from the 60s and keep it going into the 80s.
Yeah, you're keeping it going there for sure. You had to at that time, and it's nice that it is kept going,
Now you did that for a number of years.
You guys
did that.
Oh yeah, we had the places like Lothian Road, Dun Harvey's. And they were there for a whole year. That was a great club. We were with the Tam White Band. And the fabulous Lisa Scott. I remember Lisa Scott down there at the time.
She said hello on Facebook today.
She really? Well, hi.
To say hello.
She's listening. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, because we did have some great times down there, like Total McNaughton. These guys were just the ace of the music at that time. Had a good time, yeah.
And then in 1989, you decided to go on tour with somebody who was a bit lesser known.
Well, what actually happened? My time with Django was up really, and I felt that I wanted to do something myself. So I left the group and I went solo for a while. And I went with a guy called Robert Pratt, Royal Chimes. Yeah, I said, listen, guys, do you fancy getting back together because I've got a guy coming over from the States. Why make up a group? And we said, well, okay. And this guy was Benny King. Now, you can imagine my surprise and our surprise. For all these years, we've been emulating the Drifters, and all of a sudden to be asked to sing with an actual Drifter, it really blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. But it was a great opportunity, and we went into tour with Benny King for nearly 7 months. It's great, and I learned so much from that guy.
I was going to say that was my next question. You must have learned a hell of a lot.
A lot, yeah. I mean, on stage presence, how to work an audience, basically how your vocals, because I was then going into the American style. Although I sang back then at that time, it was the Scottish style.
Yeah.
I learned to sing sort of with American accents, and that's most people, yourself, they try to emulate American vocals, and it doesn't matter, you can come from Japan when they sing, it'll still sound like an American, and that's just what.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from Benny. Some lovely stories with Benny as well on the road and stuff, and there's one in particular that comes to mind. We were just discussing different aspects, and one of them was about shooting people. There's a lot of shooting in America and stuff, and I says to Benny, would you ever shoot? No, man. He says, but hey, he says, I was going down south one day, going to a gig. He says, maybe 200-300 miles down south, I got stopped with a traffic cop. I'm in my car, and the cop came and says, hey, man, where you going, man? And Benny he said, well, I'm going to a gig. Oh, yeah. And whose car is this? And Benny said, well, it's my car. He looked at me and says, listen, boy, I'm going to ask you again. He says, whose car is this? And Benny said, it's my car. I've just told you, I own the car. And then the policeman took out his gun and he put it to his head. He said, I'm going to ask you one more time, boy, whose car is this? Do you know what happened? He actually forgot to say, it's my car, sir.
Oh,
you see, and we're saying, well, I could never estimate that type of
that environment
at that time. Yeah. But it's amazing, absolutely amazing. But great times working with Benny. Yeah.
I'm sure there must have been many stories and many things that you guys got up to on the road. But all part, I suppose, really of Well, you must have felt at that point that your career had sort of escalated to.
It had at that time. It had lifted a bit because we then came from the going on with the jeans and stuff to Royal Challenge got us into the suits and all that sort of stuff, and it then became a bigger concept of Django at that particular time, and it was just great when you're up that level,
Yeah, just I suppose it's a culmination of all that hard work, and then you think to yourself, well, I've finally found that level where I want to be.
Where you're happy.
Yeah,
You're happy.
where you're happy. Well, there's a great
Because,
point.
Yeah, because you're taking a lot of years of work and coming up to that point. And it's great to be in that position for sure. Yeah.
There's a question that I normally ask people: do you still enjoy it as much? You're still doing so much. I know, from seeing where you're touring about and and keeping in touch with you, knowing that you're all over the place. Do you still enjoy it as much? Do you still get the same buzz?
I still get that same buzz I did when I was 17 years old. I still get the exact same buzz.
Yep.
I was only talking to my friend last night, and I said, if I actually lose that, then that's saying to me I should get out of it because I'm not enjoying it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'll enjoy it and I'll love it every single second.
And you've just kicked my desk and it's went right through my cans. Right, we're going to squeeze in another one of your songs, and
nice,
this one is, I've got to say, probably one of my favourite Drifter songs.
Yeah, well, Paul sings this song. He sings it well too. Save the Last Dance. It's a great song.
You can dance every dance with the guy that gives you the eye. Let him hold you tight. You can smile every smile for the man who held your hand between the pale moonlight. But don't forget who's taking you home and whose arms you wanna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Oh, I know that the music is fine, like sparkling wine. Go and have some fun. Laugh and sing, but while we're apart, don't you give your heart to anyone. And don't forget who's taking you home and whose arms you wanna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Baby, don't you know I love you so? Can you feel it when we touch? I will never, never let you go. I love you all so much. You can dance, go and carry on till the night is gone and it's time to go. If he asks if you're all alone, can he take you home? You must tell him no. But don't forget who's taking you home and whose arms you wanna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. But don't forget who's taking you home and whose arms you wanna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Oh, save the last dance for me. You got to save the last dance for me. Oh,